Unlock the secrets hidden in the dark. Symbols on the wall, rights about to spark. We sharp's vision, playing every part. Unlock the secrets, gotta leave your mark. Unlock the secrets hidden in the flame. Steps to enlightenment, never be the same. Oaths in the circle, shadow in the name. Unlock the secrets, it's more than a game. Unlock the secrets.
Unlock the secrets. Yo, what's up? It's Donut, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news. In today's video, I'm going to break down why I think March 25th is a day to look out for probably, in my opinion, some sort of blackout type event, and I'll show you why here in a moment. If you're new to the channel, we cover the symbols on the world stage. Look at your pee. Look at your piss. This was here at the Super Bowl, for example. All the commercials were all about looking at your poop and pee. And then we went deep into the Illuminati toilets and just showed you how in the future, which is now, the future is now, that they are scanning your anal prints. But eventually they'll be scanning your iris code and you'll receive a $42 cryptocurrency of the world coin. So you will not be a robot and you'll be able to access the information on the interwebs. Go on your Twitter accounts, go on the different technologies that are out there so you can keep on sharing the disinformation by the propagandists and whatnot. But this is all they call it a Hegelian dialect of problem, reaction, solution, even though I don't think Hegel even spoke about that. But the Super Bowl ads had nothing but AI surveillance networks of the ring cameras of this geofencing system, which ironically, even going into the turning point stuff, there's connections to that in the military industrial complex, which we've covered in quite a bit of videos. But if you are part of a nationality, or if you're part of a imprinting system of, let's say, anything. It could be you're born in Canada and you love hockey. You can be born and your parents like the football team, so you're dedicated to that football team. That's imprinted into your DNA at the age of 7. I think Aristotle even said something about show me the child at 7, I'll show you the man. The imprinting really makes you not able to look at different worldviews. So everybody's stuck in their own worldview and they can't leave it, and they live in this subjective reality. So they're not able to look at different points of view, even because they're stuck in their perception. The perception deception, which is a very big weakening of a lot of stuff, especially if you want to look into conspiratorial stuff. Everybody will lead you down a rabbit hole where there's a lot of dead ends in a lot of these rabbit holes. And speaking of rabbits, let's look at Bad Bunny, for example. You might not see any Knights Templar, Masonic, checkerboard floors, but if you look at the number he's wearing, 64, that is the checkerboard floor. So there's a lot of occult symbols that are hidden deep into the priming, the symbolism, which is speaking to an atavistic memory into our bodies. We were covering this in the episode that we just released. Go check out the new documentary on spellcasting and the ABCs. We cover all of this in it, how even the letter M, which means water, you see this at M&M or Campbell's soup, or what of Homer saying, that is tapping into something very, very deep just through the alphabet, just through different elements, the L, M, N. And the M is the water. The rest is the fire. And then the N is returning back to spirit or whatever. It's pretty interesting stuff. So go check out that new documentary we just posted. Now put a 1 in the comments if you could hear me okay. I see everybody. Aussie girl, what's up? Shalom to Pennsylvania. Shalom means peace, if y'all didn't know. So peace to ya. Whoop, 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 over on Twitter. So we're streaming on Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube, and I'll post this over to Facebook later. But one of these major symbols that is shown in this simulacra that we live in, this hyper reality for us to imitate to become this ideal image of what the architects want us to become, is the symbolism of the coming reset of the interwebs. This was spoken about during the lockdowns. A lot of people during the lockdowns were very, very scared, and they ran to the forest, or they ran to their daddy, the governments, or they ran, either they run into daddy or they're running to the womb of the mother in the forest. And the symbols that are shown at the Super Bowl, which is the biggest high-profile ritual, is the internet going out. We documented this, how during the Super Bowl, all the commercials, it's one long ritual, according to Marshall McLuhan, where you have the ceremony in the beginning, and then there's a tempo and a pace to the climax, which would be the orgasm. And that would be the ending of the Super Bowl halftime show ritual. The ending of the Super Bowl halftime show ritual, where you had Illuminati member Kendrick Lamar saying, there is loyalty in his DNA because it goes into the new code that is being built for the humans of 2040. They showed broke the internet. So millions of eyeballs are watching this ritual go down to Ishtar, this fertility rite, and then they all see broke the internet. A Verizon commercial, but it's going into the subconscious mind. This year, they showed the sexual symbolism of the robots mating, because this is the future of the third arm. Y'all know what a third arm is: drinking in the glossy water and drooling of the Illuminati eyeball as well. This was the first thing that you saw after that ritual. So I'm just going over this before we break the Illuminati news today. For any of the new subscribers, we got a bunch of new subscribers. Appreciate it very, very much. There's a lot to catch up on if you are new. We've been covering the lockdowns, to what's going on with wars and what's going on with symbols. We follow the symbolism here, and also the mind control techniques of psychology and the advertising agencies. So with Nancy Guthrie missing, I believe this is a smokescreen. I don't think it's not that it's real, even though it could be, she put in witness protection. I'm not saying that it's not a real event. I'm saying it is a smokescreen for applying these new fifth generation type warfare techniques of this new system. People think that we're still in the rocket man age of rockets. We have highly advanced technologies of AI and all that, so we're next level technology. I mean, they're scanning your anal prints. So right here, the Super Bowl was going on, showing the ring cameras, which is the AI going into the geofencing. And then they said she went to Mexico, then Mexico cartels get taken over. And then the Iran war pops off, the regime change, not even a war. You hear the name World War III and war all the time. I think that this is going to be very quick. Within a week or two, it's going to be over with. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Just like what happened in Operation Midnight Hammer, I think that it will end shortly. A regime change will be put in place, and then the next on the list will be South Korea and North Korea, and then we're going to hear that in the news. So that's my prediction through the predictive programming of this new film called Disclosure Day. The new Steven Spielberg film is showing North Korea, but not only that, but the astrological alignments in the sky is pointing to that as well, according to these astrologers. So here's some more of the blackout symbolism of a coming grid down scenario. During the Super Bowl, they literally shown this Chimas structure that you see in Revelations, and you see it in poetry and literature, of the descent, ascent structure, the ABBA poetic structure of Bad Bunny falling into the underworld and then rising back up after that. And he rises back up and mocks the symbol of the cross, and everybody else is doing it as well. And the power goes out. That's what they showed here at the Super Bowl, the blackout event, the power outage. They're also showing the two pentagons, which I am linking to, from a year or two from now, probably for 2040, for the new tests that are going to go on for the Neuralinks, where they get people hooked up into the Neuralinks. You got to go watch that video that we did on the Super Bowl with a bunch of great researchers. Now, more of the blackout predictive programming that we've seen with McDonald's. Speaking of the M sound is this symbol of water. And when we see the it makes us thirsty. And we covered this right here in the new documentary. Very interesting stuff. You got to check out this documentary where we show, I don't think anybody's really shown the power of the M, the Right there, you see the famous Homer Simpson who does the sound. We break down this alphabetic esoteric structure that we read in this Alvin Boyd Kuhn book that he wrote on it. Very interesting stuff. But the circle is the womb. It's the Vesica Pisces, and the shininess of the water and advertisement and whatnot shows the freshness of something being fertile. And right there's the water with the different M's, the golden arches, the M's. I mean, it's all over the place of this turning point of the water. It goes deep. It goes freaking deep. But McDonald's put out this code of a coming type blackout where night owls land for 217, which was on the eclipse. We just had this big eclipse go down, and the eclipse is very connected to the blackout event that will happen. We'll show you why. In Newt Gingrich's book that he recommended to all of Congress to read, then you got President Obama recommending everybody in the world to watch his movie, Leave the World Behind, and then his new movie about the aliens abducting Betty and Barney Hill and doing sexual experiments on them in a laboratory, doing this hybrid breeding program. That will be the next part of the agenda. But we're seeing this all drip out slowly into the consciousness of the masses. And right here, why not use artists to do this, like Kendrick Lamar and Drake and Eminem and Lil Wayne and Kanye West and Beyonce and Jay-Z, all the celebrities, because those are the idols. People worship them. They love them. The solar eclipse that happened on 217, the 217 code, which is in the movie Weapons as well, the towers fell, building 2, building 1, and building 7 in that order. That came out for this owl Happy Meal. The owl is even connected to the water as well, but I've been linking it more to the Illuminati and the camouflaging of the trickster archetypes, like the octopus or the praying mantis. The lost code hidden in the alphabet. Go check out that documentary. Worked hard on it. We were just showing the masculine 1 and the feminine 0, which makes the Ankh symbol, which means life. You even get this in binary code where we get our computers from, the 0s and 1, the matrix code. But you even get the letter A with that union. So there's a lot of symbols on the world stage, and that can go into Gematria and numbers and numerical values and geometrizing the entire freaking world through different letters and numbers. Like the Batman movie had the 322, for example. And this is in the Discord party room. Shout out to Max. The 322 is the skull and bones, which is connected to the equinox that's coming up in March. So this video is titled Something Will Go Down March 25th. I'll show you why. I'm just giving a foundational structure of why we're looking into these numbers and codes, so it's not too much of a stretch for somebody. But right here, 322, it's for the equinox. It's the crossbones of the equinox, the ecliptic, crossing. And Batman's grandfather was the Skull and Bones founder. This is why in episode 666, Find Finny Fiends, F being the 6th number, it's the 33rd episode, or it's like episode 3, season 3, something with a 33. Batman's grandfather founded Skull and Bones, and 322 is their number. You get two different freaking presidents. You get George Bush, who everybody seems to be on his D right now because they hate Trump so much. They're jumping onto the 322 skull and bones guy. The 322, you get two different presidents that are running against each other, and they're part of this secret society. This is the occult. This is the hidden. This is the synarchy system of how the world actually operates. The world operates not how you think it operates. It operates through a hidden hand. For example, you got the World War I. Everyone's scared about World War III. But World War I got kicked off by a hidden hand called the Black Hand in the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, who coincidentally has the same birthday as Elon Musk. But this is the synarchy system. This is the secret society system that controls major events. When a major event goes down, there's power players that are behind the scenes that are making it happen. It's not just organic a lot of the times. Not that organic stuff doesn't happen and their plans don't get ruined all the time. They absolutely do get ruined all the time because man plans, God laughs. That comes from the Torah. Man plans, God laughs. But what I'm looking at is this number 86 for March 25th. I'm looking at the number 84 and 85. I'll break that down here shortly on why March 25th or 26th, the 84th day of the year, 85th day of the year, could be connected to the blackout, because in Gematria, blackout equals 85. So the event that locked down the whole world that the guy in the files was a big part of, Bill and Microsoft, they said the next big event would be one of these cyber incidences. That was going to be the big next lockdown. So something to look out for is these blackouts. And even on the Drudge Report today, they were showing the blackout. But, you know, I look at the symbols, I look at the different AI, like, for example, one of the big things to reset the internet, as Ghislaine, she spoke to Elon Musk on how to reset the internet without actually resetting the whole internet. Just let's get rid of a couple different things. And they didn't come up with a total game plan or anything publicly. They also spoke about the aliens. But one of the things that I read in the Skull and Bones magazine that's connected to, I think, the Knights of Malta as well, but the Time magazine, who made Adolf the Man of the Year, the Time magazine was going over the new technology of the orb will see you now. The orb will see you now is the resetting of the internet to verify that you are not a robot. When you go online and you have to click you're not a robot, a quicker way around that is by scanning your iris code, getting this iris code. And this is that problem reaction solution of everyone sharing the fake AI content, claiming that it's real for propaganda reasons. They think that that's a great thing, but this plays right into the hands of the technocracy. And in the movie Civil War, I show you how this guy, the president, is an AI. I mean, we're so advanced in the technology that maybe all the politicians aren't even real and they've all uploaded their consciousness into a robot and they're all walking around as robots. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that at all. So this plays a big role with the AI. Even during the No Kings protest, you had the spray paint that looks like it says Evola, right? Like you have a Julius Evola, something interesting right there. But here is the Olympics. The Olympics was showing the bridging of the America through Australia and Africa right after the blackout initiated at the Olympics, the Bacchanalian Olympics. And then they showed the Knights Templar and the Hashashin Order right here, the Year of the Assassin right there. You got a secret society right there of the Hashashins and the gold and silver. Now, everyone thinks that we're going to be put onto a gold and silver backed currency. That doesn't seem like that will be the agenda. Studying about the technocracy, the CFR, and all this, their whole thing is to get rid of free market capitalism. So a lot of the stuff that you see that are in plan by the Illuminati type elites is this very socialist leftist ideology. This is why you got so much symbolism of Marxist socialists. That's the big reason why Nazism has been such a big push, is because those are socialist symbols. And that is why, because they want to get rid of free market capitalism and put everybody on a blockchain. This goes into the whole new system being built. Won't be backed by gold and silver. It'll be backed by real estate, the Commonwealth. You don't have the Commonwealth because you're a monster, according to Black's Law Dictionary. The people who have the Commonwealth, like the British Empire and all this different stuff, that's why it's called a Commonwealth, because they have the wealth. They have the Commonwealth of land. You cannot own that. And so the big thing is collapsing America's debt system, accelerating it through a technocracy system, accelerate it through hyper capitalism, or whatever they want to call it, crony capitalism, to collapse it, to bring in this new system. And I think that's what's going on right now. They're running test runs of assimilation for this event to go down, but it's not what everyone thinks it is. Like they'll push like it's the end of Fed, but you remove one of the Hydra heads, the other head will appear. This is an interesting article that Jordan Maxwell talked about a lot. He says that Osama bin Laden died a bunch of times in the news. And it's just something to think about when you have all these different top people dying. Just something interesting to look out for. So we're going to get into Mountain Dew, the FIFA World Cup, all that different stuff, Tesla bots, symbolism, and all that. We're going to get into a lot of it. But the Drudge Report, one of the most leftist Drudge Report, shows the blackout today. You see how it says Iraq plunged into a blackout? That's in the news today. Iraq plunged into nationwide blackout as U.S. tells citizens to leave immediately. We're going to get into this blackout stuff. Even Jamie Dimon of Chase Bank, which is straight connected to the aristocratic elite who installed Adolf, socialist Hitler, into office to destroy Germany. That connection was based out of America, and they were part of the Atlantis Society, and they were harnessing the Akasha energy of the Vril. I mean, things get absolutely insane, and it's all connected to also the British Empire. The truth is stranger than fiction, and it's connected to a lot of the alien stuff that we're seeing today as well. Iraq plunged into the blackout. So shout out to Jacob Israel. We're going to do a show with Jacob Israel here soon, and also Christopher Green as well. And he was sharing about this blackout and its connection to the McDonald's thing. And he did a lot of different connections, connecting this owl to Iran or Iraq, one of the two. I think it was Iraq. That's what he talked about. Let me see what he says. Predictions come true. Iraq total blackout. Were the night owls, as reposted 3 weeks ago, finally accurate? Isaiah 13:21 describes owls inhabiting the desolate ruins of Babylon, modern-day Iraq. So right there, the owl connected to Iraq, and now Iraq's going through the blackout, as the McDonald's was showing the blackout with the owl. Right after this rare blood moon total lunar eclipse, the 333 lunar eclipse, which, got to put on record, there seems to be another sacrifice that went down. On this channel, we show the eclipse connected to ritual. Got huge documentation of this, how a death of a celebrity or a world figure dies on the eclipse. This goes back to the ancient days. But there's a 3-day window of energy when it comes to a full moon. So you got 3 days before the day and 3 days after, and there's always a huge sacrifice that goes down. And there was a few different deaths that were released that day as well. but I'm not going to talk about that too much right now. Of the rare blood moon lunar eclipse 333, it happened on 3/3 at 3:33 in the morning over on the West Coast by the Bay Bridge, the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, which we're going to connect to this blackout March 25th thing, leaving 303 days left of 2026. Tons of threes in that. But here's Mountain Dew that was showing the full moon and the blackout. This one's called Pitch Black, and they showed the full moon. Elon Musk got hit by the massive cyber attack after this was released. And then people were also connecting this to Operation Midnight Hammer as well. And I was showing how they had even predicted the Devil's Comet, where they have a comet with doing the devil hand sign. And then we heard about the devil comet shortly after that. So here's some more predictive programming of the blackout event in the Leave the World Behind movie. The Leave the World Behind movie shows 9/17, and there was an eclipse on that day, but they showed the eclipse throughout this predictive programming of the film. But even these magazines and books and whatnot and movie covers, The Economist magazine shows Trump as the eclipse going over towards South America, and there was a blackout here, I believe. And Candace is probably the most mainstream figure right now, and her book's called The Blackout. And then you got the 1 second after with the eclipse. This whole book is about a EMP blackout event. And then Leave the World Behind with the buck. And I believe the buck is the dollar. It's the buck. It's the dollar. So Mountain Dew doing this predictive programming, they did this predictive programming as I brought the information of Code Red first, that Code Red information connected to the Code Red system of Homeland Security. In Maverick Approach, he did incredible work just with the Star Spangled Splash in the Liberty Chill. And Liberty Chill, before it was Liberty Chill, it was Liberty Brew. And they changed it to Liberty Chill, but it was Liberty Blue. And look, there's the Golden Gate Bridge right in there. So just more programming to look out for with the Golden Gate Bridge. And I'll bring up some more of the Golden Gate Bridge. Owen Benjamin, who I actually got to meet when I went to Bro Grove, and I got to hang out with him while he played piano. It was really funny, the songs that he made. But he was bringing up the 3 days till Easter, 303 days till end of year, 3-3 at 3:33 p.m. near the lunar eclipse blood moons after it was the 3 days of war. And he's bringing up the Golden Gate Bridge in this post, how it does sound esoteric because it is the gates. It's the Golden Gates, and the sun dies in the west. And the Golden Gate Bridge is something that we've talked about on this channel all the frickin' time. But now let's connect it to March 25th. And my prediction is I think a torpedo is going to be aimed at it through North Korea or something. So when I make a prediction, I like to be super specific. We'll see what happens. But United, it's the United States of America when we're looking at this Liberty thing, the limited edition United.com, which doesn't exist anymore because this is pretty old. But United equals 84. Blackout in Gematria equals 85. So this is what schizophrenically is leading me to this date, March 25th. March 25th is the 84th day of the year and 85th day in leap year. The last time a blackout happened on the 201 day of the year was July 20th is the 201 day of the year, but July 19th is the 201 day of the year in a leap year, and that's when the largest blackout actually happened. It was called the blue screen of death, and it happened in a leap year. So, I mean, I'm sort of leaning towards March 25th, but it could be March 26 as well. But March 25th being the 84th day of the year, it leaves 281 days until the end of the year. Now, this is the 128 code. Bridge collapse equals 128. We covered how important this number 128 is, 281, in the 128 code. Joe Biden sent out an emergency alert at 218, and it showed water behind the most of the screensavers that they showed on the news and the internet. But it's the 218, just like in Squid Games, the main star is number 218. It's the 128 code that was in the 33rd Squid Games. Now, March 25th, absolutely interesting. Did you know March 25th, the day I'm saying to look out for, is the official beginning of the year? It's called Lady Day. The calendar system, the New Style Act of 1750, when 1750 happened, right before America was founded, it was March 25th was the new year for the calendar of the British calendar. Isn't that interesting? So that just kind of makes me think, yeah, hey, maybe something will go down on the 25th. But who knows? Maybe not. It's called Lady Day. And right now it's Lady Month. March is dedicated to Women's History Month. So it's literally Lady Month in Mars. Mars is war. Mars is Aries. It's the month of war, and there's a lot of war drums beating. U.S. banks are on high alert for these cyber incidences as Iran war escalates. Now, they're just putting this into the conscience of the mind because the future is to digitalize the assets. And this equinox is coming up on March 20th. But we've already kind of talked about that. But the importance of astrology in world events, I get laughed at all the time. But there's a reason why the greatest president that's ever existed, Joe Biden, he got more votes than anybody. He got more votes than Obama. He's way better than Obama. He got more votes than Obama. That's why he's the greatest president ever, because more people voted for him than anybody else. He, on 222, Pluto's return, at 222, came out to kick off the war stuff that we saw going on. So is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Jamie Dimon, who became a billionaire in a strange way by stealing America's money, by stealing your taxpayer money, this Jeffrey File Nazi, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, National Socialist. Yes, they're very National Socialist. Look at their symbol. Look, Blink 182, the 182 code. Let me just show you their symbol. Dang it, where did it go? I don't know where it went. Anyway, I lost it. Their symbol is a freaking swastika. Jamie Dimon stole your money. Everyone's businesses failed, and he got a bailout. We didn't vote for giving him the too big to fail money, and they got it, and he became a billionaire. And now he's saying that there's going to be inflation, credit, and cyber risks. He's coming out saying that. Some people see aliens while on DMT. Researchers want to find out what they can teach us. Now, when you're taking different mind-altering chemicals, which is promoted by your famous podcasters or just propagandists like Joe Rogan, pushing people to take hallucinogens and whatnot, this is all part of a psyop, a psychological operation. And people have taken this DMT and saw the aliens. They usually see reptilians. And if you're a woman, a lot of reptilians ended up doing some very bad things to the women, if you catch my drift. And we covered all of this in one of our documentaries that we released. Let's see if I could fast forward where that was in this documentary of the DMT. This is a 2.5 hour documentary over on the member section. So go subscribe, become a member. Okay, right here. Yeah, this is it right here. This is pretty good. This is crazy. So Terence McKenna, who that article is based off of, when he was in Hawaii, he saw the mantids with his girlfriend. I'll play a clip of that real quick. And it is also part of a message sent to him via NORAD. The signal is traced. It leads to a Native American sacred. David Lynch saw a UFO, an invitation to love, an invitation. This suggests that Lynch also knew about the connection of man. Saw a UFO in the upper Amazon, where he was studying DMT. Kau in Hawaii with his girlfriend Kat, she had an unprecedented severe reaction to the psilocybin mushrooms that she had just taken. A howling laughter split the air from the direction of the ancient woods behind the house. Her perceptions during her near-death experience, she told McKenna that as she was unconscious, she saw a UFO full of mantids hovering over their house. The apparition of these beings was from the same source of the horrific laughter. There were creatures inside the vehicle, mantis-like and made of light, that didn't want me to know. Kat is not the only person to have said that the mantids, despite their outer form, are really beings made of light of pure energy. Ted Owens was a psychokinetic adept who claimed to be in touch with space intelligences that took the form of what he described as grasshopper-like beings. Padilla and Baca got a good look at the three beings. They were little creatures that looked like Campamokas, or as Rema explains, like heck, a bug. Both Baca and Padilla claimed that these three mantids communicated with them telepathically, filling their minds with images that invoke sorrow and sympathy. These cases suggest that the mantids are the directive force behind the purported human-alien hybrid program. David Huggins is an... So yeah, that's from the book Closer Encounters. Great book. And yeah, going over the DMT stuff. Let's see if there's more. I got another section with the DMT that was pretty crazy, that I put some cool art to it. Let me see if I could find that real quick, because it was trippy. I was editing it and I was like, this shit is nuts. Oh, right here it is. I'm gonna play this real quick. The scene is nuts. Global civilization. From ancient Egypt to Mayan America, many of their monuments are zodiacally aligned to certain star constellations. The prehistoric civilization governed by the gods, which endured from their genetic engineering of mankind about 750,000 years ago, until the collapse of Atlantis 12,000 years ago. Set up some kind of system to time the births of various types of people as part of classifying them into the caste hierarchy that has a future of this society. A system that used psychokinesis in conjunction with zodiacal symbolism in order to deeply embed certain expectations and tendencies into the collective unconscious, and to guide individuals of a certain type to be born at a particular time or pursue life's path that have one or another typological contour. The level of the collective unconscious may still be functioning in a degraded fashion, a pattern imprinted from a very deep past of ingrained behavior. Okay, here it is, the DMT parts. It is believed that DMT is naturally produced near death, and some have speculated that its flooding of the brain at this time is responsible for the visions seen in near-death experiences. Unlike other psychedelics, DMT blocks out normal sensory input altogether, rather than merely modifying it. But it also affords access to a higher level of the computational cosmos than the cosmic game that we are living inside of now. We could be avatars of players from this higher programming level, or at least those of us who are not non-player characters, NPCs, could be, in which case death, karma, and reincarnation could be akin to multiple lives needed to accomplish a quest in a video game. So yeah, go check out that video. It's nuts. But this is going on right now. There's this luxury place called Eleusis, just like the Eleusinian Mysteries. And people are seeing aliens when they're on these psychedelics and whatnot. But check this out. There's this Eleusis world first-class luxury psychedelic immersion. This is like straight out of Illuminati stuff, Eleusis, because the Illuminati gets their rituals from the Eleusinian Mysteries and these secret societies. And that's what this article is about. And it's connected to the Skull and Bone Yale University and in London as well. Very interesting that they titled it the Eleusis World Luxury Psychedelic Immersion, which will probably be like a mind control station. Here's the Eleusinian Mysteries, where they would take this wheat that you see right here. You see this wheat that they trip out on. And this psychedelic push, like you got Dan Bilzerian saying that he smokes weed for 33 years and now he just does mushrooms and he loves it. This is all coming from these secret society missions of mind-altering chemicals for mind control and mostly imprint control through the autonomic nervous system. This is why we were one of the first channels to really cover the Illuminati dolphins. Jumped on the Illuminati dolphin research as a joke initially. I was like, people are stealing my information. I'm going to do something so ridiculous and see if people will steal the information. And I did one called Illuminati Dolphins. And then the more I looked into it, I was like, oh shit, there's freaking Illuminati dolphins. And we went into the mind control through the different drugs that were used with these dolphin experiments with John C. Lilly, where the government funded it because they were looking for Atlantis. They were trying to communicate with the dolphins so the dolphins would communicate with the whales and the whales would go down to Atlantis and communicate with the aliens and the ATL Atlantis. That's literally what the foreword of the books would say. Reading the foreword of the book is absolutely important. A lot of people want to skip the foreword of a book, but you must read the foreword. It really puts into context words and ideas and what was going on at that time. It's a game changer reading the foreword of a book. So that's a wicked smart tip for today, is the read the foreword of a book. So there's the dolphin experiments. Crazy, right? Eleusis immersion. The Eleusis immersion. Here are all the countries now involved with the Iran conflict. That's going on. Iranian warship torpedoed by U.S. submarine. In first U.S. incident of its kind since World War II. I've been talking about the torpedo nuts. The torpedo. And now the torpedo's in the news. I even made it the thumbnail. I've been hinting that it would be North Korea in the news with their torpedoes. But America has beaten North Korea to the punch. It was sunk by a torpedo, but that is still on the agenda of what I'm seeing happening. How AI fakes are turning satellite images into war misinformation. Just like in Leave the World Behind, this is called social engineering. There's all these fake images that are shared by your trusted podcasters that give you the news. It's all fake. I mean, it's all fake, but they're sharing so much fake stuff. They did this fake sharing of stuff during the Gaza conflict in Israel, just nothing but fake stuff. And they're still doing it today with the fake footage with this conflict going on. And this is going to lead to the Orb will see you now. Just read the Orb will see you now, this Time Magazine article, and they're playing right into the hands of the technocrats. because that's what it's counting on, is for these podcasters to share all the fake information saying it's real. Even Sam Altman tells OpenAI staffers that military's operational decisions are up to the government. In an all-hands meeting with OpenAI employees on Tuesday, CEO Sam Altman and his company doesn't get to choose how the military uses its technology. So they're using like ChatGPT and all that within this conflict that's going on. ICE has spun a massive surveillance web. We talked to people, caught it. We've been covering this. I mean, that's why it's important to check out Courtney Turner's work on all these new technologies, because I think it's all linked to everything going on in the world right now. So yeah, you're tuning into all your Illuminati news. We'll keep y'all updated. We got almost 1,000 people up in here. Make sure to smash that like button. Share the video out. It's Donut. Much love, and God bless you.
So I say they don't read shit, they don't know shit, they don't give a shit. So I say they don't read shit, they don't know shit, they don't give a shit.
What up, though? I don't know what to do up on this road, so I just let it go, let it go. I don't know what up, though. I just let it go, let it go. Just gotta let it go.